Way yet. Might have had a technical foul there just as this first half was expiring.
Hi everyone and welcome back to Wnba Core. I'm back with another exciting video just for you. I hope you're all doing great and having an amazing day. Today's video is packed with exciting updates and important information, so make sure you stay with me until the very end. You won't want to miss a single detail. Now, without wasting any more time, let's jump right into today's video. Okay, let me go. After being hit with her sixth technical foul along with a $1,000 fine, Caitlin Clark had every right to vent her frustration. Instead, she chose a path that left the entire sports world completely speechless. Indianapolis felt like a completely different city on Friday night. It was the kind of game where you stop talking, put down your phone, and just watch history unfold. Almost no athlete in basketball history had ever put on the kind of show Caitlin Clark displayed on the floor. By the time the final buzzer echoed through the arena, everyone in basketball was still trying to digest what they had just witnessed: 45 points, 2 blocks, 4 steals, and 10 assists. Only 4 other players across all professional basketball, men's or women's, had ever recorded a stat line so remarkably rare and dominant. Even more incredible, while still operating under a managed minutes limit, she delivered this historic performance in under 30 minutes of playing time, leaving even her own coaching staff in complete awe. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 85% of our viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's completely free, takes just a second, and means the world to us. So, did you subscribe already? Great! Thank you so much for your support. Now, back to the video. Analysts immediately began drawing comparisons to Michael Jordan. Luka Doncic's name was being thrown into the conversation. Social media simply ran out of words to describe what had just happened on the floor. For one glorious evening, Caitlin Clark's entire universe revolved strictly around basketball, her legendary dominance, her place in the record books, and what it signaled for her career trajectory. Then Saturday arrived, just 90 seconds into the very next contest. That was all the time it took for the narrative to flip entirely. 90 seconds into Indiana's matchup against the New York Liberty, Clark ran hard into a screening Jonquel Jones and fell to the hardwood. She looked up expecting a whistle, but none came. Standing up to address the nearest official, she was hit with an instantaneous technical foul before the game had even settled in. That single whistle cost her $1,000 and brought her seasonal total to 6. Suddenly, the same player who had just joined an elite club in basketball history was sitting just 2 technical fouls away from an automatic suspension. For a squad sitting at 15-10 and battling fiercely in a highly competitive conference, it was a massive road victory with major playoff implications. Yet, the win barely made headlines. The technical foul was what made noise. The $1,000 fine was what everyone talked about. The math was what mattered: 6 down, 2 to go before a forced night off. After witnessing one of the greatest individual games in women's basketball history, fans spent the following night tracking foul counts like a ticking suspension clock. This sudden shift wasn't an isolated accident. For fans and analysts following the season closely, it wasn't a random coincidence or bad timing. It was simply the latest milestone in an issue that had been building for months, one questionable call at a time. To truly understand why Saturday felt like the latest explosion in an ongoing battle, you have to go back to June. During a heated matchup against the Phoenix Mercury, Clark received a technical foul that spectators and commentators instantly tagged as questionable at best. In high-intensity moments, officials typically absorb player passion and let play continue without escalating the situation. It was the type of routine call that most players walk away from. However, this one didn't fade away. Upon official review, the WNBA upheld the foul rather than rescinding it, despite having overturned similar calls for other athletes earlier in the year. The issue wasn't just a single technical foul, it was what the decision revealed about how Clark was being officiated compared to the rest of the league. That single ruling ignited a massive response. Fans noticed instantly, and within hours, side-by-side video clips spread across social media. Viewers pointed out multiple players displaying equal or greater frustration on court without drawing the same whistle or financial penalties. Why does a call get rescinded for one athlete, yet stand for another in the exact same season? Every subsequent technical foul was viewed through the lens of that lingering question. By the time her 6th technical arrived in July, fans weren't just reacting to one bad call, they were responding to a pattern that had been building since spring. Box score by box score, clip by clip, every contested whistle was analyzed and added to a growing record that supporters felt the league was either ignoring or refusing to address. That June call cost the league something beyond a fine. It cost them the benefit of the doubt from a highly attentive audience now watching with a magnifying glass. What makes this impossible to dismiss as simple internet noise is that key figures inside the sport are speaking up as well. Indiana head coach Stephanie White isn't a fan account or an anonymous commentator. She is a veteran head coach managing a professional roster while carefully navigating league communication rules. Yet, following an earlier technical, she publicly noted that the team needed to start discussing strategic ways to manage how those fouls were being called against her star player. Think about the weight of that statement. A professional head coach publicly acknowledged that Clark's relationship with WNBA officiating had become a tactical variable that the franchise needed to actively manage, rather than an internet overreaction that would simply blow over. When a coaching staff measures their words so carefully around a trend this obvious, it highlights the severity of the issue within the organization itself. The national sports media took notice too. Major sports outlets began framing the dynamic surrounding Clark's officiating as a political tug-of-war. One week she was celebrated as the ultimate crowd puller, and the next she appeared to be held to a stricter disciplinary standard than her peers. Once that discourse reaches mainstream media outlets, the league loses control of the narrative. The conversation takes on a life of its own, prompting casual fans who never cared about technical foul rules to start questioning league-wide consistency and fairness. That isn't just fan chatter, it is public reputation being shaped in real time. Looking at the league's technical foul leaderboards makes the situation even more perplexing. Clark currently sits near the top alongside relentless interior physical forces like Angel Reese and aggressive guards like Kalia Copper. Yet, their play styles could not be more different. Reese battles in the paint, absorbing and delivering physical contact, while Copper is a high-octane two-way player attacking the rim. Clark, by contrast, is a perimeter playmaker whose game relies on spacing, passing, and long-range shooting, styles that rarely yield high technical foul counts. So why are such vastly different playstyles sitting in the exact same disciplinary bracket mid-season? Explaining that shared number as mere coincidence becomes difficult, and when official answers are missing, fans fill the silence with their own conclusions. In response to that silence, the fan community created an extraordinarily structured tracking network. Every new technical foul now triggers an immediate wave of real-time documentation. Fans refresh mid-game box scores specifically to check foul counts, build video threads with precise timestamps, and compare Clark's whistles to similar incidents across the league. This is no longer casual venting, the fanbase has effectively built an active auditing system. They are organized, detailed, and unwilling to let any call pass without analysis. Having every whistle documented publicly creates a unique form of pressure on league administration, expanding with every new chapter. There is also a financial angle that deserves closer attention. Before the season, the WNBA quietly updated its disciplinary fine structure. Technical fouls 4 through 7 now carry a $1,000 penalty, a dramatic leap from the $200 baseline of previous years. While applied across the board, the actual impact varies drastically depending on who receives the whistles. For a player accumulating technicals at a rapid pace, the financial cost escalates quickly. While a professional athlete can afford a $1,000 fine, the dollar amount isn't the primary issue, it's what the structure reflects about league priorities. When the penalty for player frustration increases while the officiating inconsistency driving that frustration remains unaddressed, the entire burden shifts onto the athlete. It essentially suggests that raising the cost of reacting to bad calls is the solution, rather than fixing the calls themselves. For her part, Clark has been remarkably disciplined in how she speaks about the situation. She has consistently steered the conversation away from individual calls and toward a structural solution. Throughout the season, her main public request has been clear: transition the league from part-time officiating to a full-time professional referee staff. That distinction is crucial. She isn't asking for special treatment or requesting overturned calls, she is arguing that full-time, highly trained officials would improve consistency for every player on the floor. Framing it as an infrastructure issue gives her argument a level of credibility that simple frustration never could, shifting the narrative from a player complaining about fouls to a star advocating for league-wide operational progress. So, what happens if that 8th technical foul arrives? The rules are straightforward: a ninth technical foul during the regular season results in an immediate, mandatory one-game suspension, a $1,500 fine, and no right to an appeal. For most teams in ordinary seasons, a one-game absence is an inconvenience. For the Indiana Fever right now, it would be a major blow. Sitting at 15-10 in a tight playoff race, Indiana relies on Clark for nearly 21 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds every single night. She isn't just their top producer, she is the engine of their entire offensive system. Her unmatched shooting range opens up the floor, creating looks that no other player on the roster can replicate. Removing her for a game forces the Fever to retool their entire offensive identity on 48 hours' notice in the middle of a playoff push. Beyond the impact on Indiana's record, a suspension carries broader consequences for the league itself. Clark brings an unprecedented level of value to every game, packed arenas, record broadcast ratings, and mainstream national attention that women's basketball has sought for years. Opposing arenas sell out when she comes to town, and networks rely on her games as guaranteed rating wins. The league itself has acknowledged that her arrival has accelerated growth far beyond standard marketing efforts. Benching her doesn't just penalize a team, it deprives the league and its broadcast partners of their biggest primetime attraction. Is the WNBA truly prepared for what a Clarkless broadcast looks like in peak season? That question is now just 2 whistles away from becoming reality. Moving forward, every game carries an added layer of tension. Fans track box scores in real time, watching every interaction between Clark and the referees with intense forensic scrutiny. Every time she speaks to an official after a whistle, social media pauses to see if another technical was assessed. Managing that constant pressure takes a toll on everyone involved, including Clark herself. She is a fiery competitor who plays with emotion because elite basketball demands it. Very few athletes have had to manage that level of intensity while playing under an active suspension countdown. Expecting any star to navigate that thin margin while putting up historical numbers is a massive ask. This issue isn't going away. Clark has already overcome minutes restrictions early in the season and physically demanding defensive coverage night after night. Adding an escalating fine structure, a looming suspension threshold, and an unaddressed request for full-time officiating creates an immense amount of pressure on a single athlete during what should be a milestone season. A week that opened with a historic 45-point, 10-assist masterpiece quickly shifted into a countdown toward fines and suspensions. That contradiction is why this story has grown far beyond a single game. No team wants to navigate a playoff run under the shadow of a suspension clock, yet that undercurrent now accompanies every Indiana broadcast. The July fine, the upheld June call, the push for full-time referees, the fan tracking, and the head coach's careful public comments all point to one core question: how will the WNBA ultimately respond to Caitlin Clark? Will they address her structural concerns with real action, or will they rely on quiet fines and hope the noise fades? The current strategy of silence and fines is running out of time. Fans are documenting every whistle, media coverage is expanding into mainstream sports commentary, and Clark remains firm in her stance. Pressure is building from all 3 sides: the player, the commentators, and the fans. With the counter sitting at 7, 2 more whistles will turn this ongoing debate into an inevitable reality, benching the league's most watched player during a crucial playoff race. Every remaining game for Indiana is vital. Every possession matters, and the entire system is built around Clark running the floor. The tension is already present, regardless of when that next whistle comes. A league that credits one player for transforming its commercial trajectory is now just 2 whistles away from forcing her to sit out. The fans have built the record, the media has framed the story, and Clark has stated her case. The only question left is whether the WNBA will take meaningful action or simply continue issuing fines while waiting for the noise to disappear. Do you think the WNBA owes Caitlin Clark a real response on this issue? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to subscribe to WNBA Core and hit the like button to stay updated as this story continues to develop.